So next we will be learning regarding the topic that is preparation of colloids. So the preparation of colloid mainly it goes with the three methods. The one is with the chemical method and the second one is electrical disintegration, or it will be considered as Briggs arc method, and the third one is peptidization. So here in these three methods, in the sense in the preparation of colloid, this method is very important. Okay. So this can be asked for 3 marks. So this method, Briggs arc method. So one by one the methods will be seen over here. So the first method, which will be considered as chemical method, where you are going to react, okay, chemical compounds one by one. It will be reacting with together and you are going to get a certain product. So here the first method where you are going to prepare a colloidal salt. Okay, so the first method is arsenic oxide. Okay, so AS is nothing but arsenic. So arsenic oxide reacting with hydrogen sulfide in the presence of, in the sense here, double decomposition will take place. So remember, chemical method why we are going to consider here, because here reaction will take place either by double decomposition reaction or oxidation reaction or reduction reaction or hydrolysis. In any one of this method it goes, then you are going to consider as chemical method. So to prepare a colloidal salt. So the first reaction is arsenic oxide and hydrogen sulfide. When these two will react on double decomposition, you are going to get arsenic trisulfide. Okay, arsenic trisulfide. Along with that water formation will take place. So this is the first method where this is your salt. Okay, colloidal salt. So this will be considered as your colloidal salt. This will be there with the colloidal salt. In the sense, you know, colloid in the sense it should have the size of the particle within the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. So the particle size will be, it lies between them, as well as these colloids will be having some of the properties that you are going to study next. Okay, so that property this solution will be having. So this will be considered as colloidal salt. So when the mixture of these two will take place under double decomposition, you will get the product as arsenic trisulfide, which is nothing but a colloid. The second method is sulfur dioxide reacting with hydrogen sulfide. So here oxidation will take place, so that you will get sulfur as well as water molecule. So here your sulfur, okay, so that is nothing but your colloidal salt. Okay, so this already you have learned. Sulfur salt is nothing but which will be having S8 molecules, number of molecules more than 1000. The number of molecules will be there. So this is nothing but your colloidal salt. The next one is Irish chloride reacting with your formaldehyde, okay, your good chloride reacting with your formaldehyde along with water. Here reduction will take place. Okay, on the process of reduction you are going to get your gold, okay, as well as methanoic acid and hydrochloric acid formation will take place. So this is your colloidal salt. Okay, gold salt formation will take place over here. So that is one more method. Another method, iron chloride reacting with water in the presence of hydrolysis. Hydrolysis in the sense addition of water molecule when it will take place. Iron hydroxide will form. You know, hydrolysis in the sense you will get the product in the form hydroxide. Okay, so here also you are going to get iron hydroxide as a product. Along with that byproduct will be hydrochloric acid. So here your iron hydroxide is nothing but your colloidal salt. So this will be there in the form of colloid. So this is one method to prepare your colloid. So industrially generally these methods will be used to prepare arsenic trisulfide, sulfur as well as gold colloid as well as iron hydroxide colloid. So to prepare these colloids, a chemical method, simple chemical method will be utilized. Next method which will be used to prepare your colloid, that is called as electrical disintegration. Okay, electrical disintegration, or it will be considered as Briggs arc method. So this method, Briggs arc method, okay, scientist name it is. Okay, so this method is very important. Now how this procedure will be done over here? So for this certain setup you used to, it should be used. So that setup it goes like this. A bigger container will be taken. Okay, so bigger container will be taken. In this you are going to put ice cubes. Okay, so ice cubes will be dipped. It will be kept under the sun in this beaker. Okay, next you are going to keep a small beaker. You are going to insert in one more smaller beaker. So what will happen when ice cubes are there? We keep a stand over here to keep another beaker. Okay. So this is nothing but here you will be having ice bath. Okay. And this beaker, what you are going to take? See, this method, Bragdon's arc method, it will be used to prepare a colloidal salt, a kind of your silver, gold as well as platinum. This kind of metal salt can be prepared by using of this method. Okay, I'll repeat, your silver, gold as well as platinum. This kind of metals will be used in the in this method, Bragdon's arc method. So now what you are going to do here, you are going to take alkyl solution. Okay, alkali solution. Alkali in the sense, hydroxide form you are supposed to take. So most of the time in this you will be taking water as well as KOH, the mixture of alkali. Okay, aqueous alkali will be taken over here. Okay, so this will be considered as dispersion medium. You know what is meant by dispersion medium, because colloids in the sense two phases are must. Phase as well as medium, dispersed phase as well as medium. So this is a dispersion medium where your colloid will get dispersed. Okay, where your dispersed phase will get dispersed. So this is the medium. So as I said, dispersion medium will be having water along with that hydroxide solution, KOH solution. Okay, potassium hydroxide as well as water will be taken, mixture of it, and it will be taken in this beaker. Now, two electrodes in the sense what? Which metal you want as a salt? Okay, colloidal salt. For example, I want to prepare now gold salt. So I am supposed to use gold electrode itself. Okay, diagram is also important. You draw it neatly. Okay. Two electrode will be used. So this is nothing but your gold electrode only. So these two electrode will be connected to battery. Okay. So two electrode, as I said, these electrodes are nothing but which metal salt you want to prepare, the same metal electrode you are supposed to use. So if you are preparing gold salt, use gold electrode itself. Okay. So now what will happen? So when you pass current, this is the setup. Okay. Next you are supposed to go with experiment. So here, when you pass electricity, by that time what will happen? Between these electrodes, arc will be produced. Okay, so between the electrode, production of arc will take place over here. Okay, so what this arc will do? Arc in a sense that more amount of heat will be released. Due to that heat, your metals started melting. Okay, so these metal which is immersed in the solution. So this metal started melting and it started vaporizing. These metals started vaporizing. So here certain condition will be maintained with ice bath. Okay, so to cool this solution, dispersion medium. Okay, so now when you pass electricity, certain arc will be produced between these electrodes. Okay, and this arc will have, in a sense that heat will help to melt these metals. After melting, what will happen? The vaporization of these metals will take place. Okay. Later, that vaporized particle will be removed and condensation you are going to do. Condensation in the sense, now by giving heat, vaporization has been done. Now with the cooling process, that particles will be condensed so that you will get in the form of salt. Okay. So that will be utilized over here. So here you will get your gold or else you will get silver as well as platinum. Any one of the electrode, okay, by using of any one of the electrode, you are going to get certain metallic salt or certain colloidal salt. So this is the method which will be considered as Bragdon's arc method. Okay, I'll repeat. You are going to take a container which will be having ice bath. So this will be used to cool this solution, okay, dispersion medium. And you are going to insert one more smaller beaker which will be having dispersion medium. So that will consist of water as well as any of alkali solution. So most of the time you are going to use KOH solution. Okay, potassium hydroxide will be utilized over here, and you are going to dip certain electrode, which metal salt you want to produce. So the same metal electrode you are supposed to dip, which will be connected to electricity. So when you pass electricity, between these electrode, arc formation will take place. So this arc will help to produce some amount of heat will be released. Due to that heat, in a sense more amount of heat. So due to that heat, this metal, okay, these two metals started melting, and after some time vaporization of those metal will take place. Okay. So later on condensation, when you will decrease the temperature, okay, on condensation, so certain metal salt will be collected. Okay, colloidal salt will be collected over here. That method we are going to call it as electrical disintegration or Braddock's arc method. The next method, that is nothing but peptization. Okay, the third method, this will be considered as peptization. So what is mean by peptization? See, generally your colloids, if you will take, okay, next you will be learning, these colloids are having particular charge, either positive charge or negative charge. For example, here this colloid, some example. Okay, so this one colloid I have taken, colloidal salt I have taken, here it is having negative charge. So in colloidal salt, these charges will be there, or it will be distributed uniformly throughout the solution. Okay, so this is nothing but colloidal salt. Now, when you go with the precipitate, okay, how precipitate formation will be there, that you have already know. Okay, you might have seen in lab and all. So precipitation, in a sense, the particles will settle down. So here what will happen, the particles will be settling down in the form of precipitate. Okay, here colloidal, in the sense, clear, those mixture or negative charge will be distributed uniformly throughout the solution. But here it is not. It will be settling down. Only precipitate settle down. Now, peptization is a method to convert precipitate into colloidal form. Okay. So this is the method. Say pept in a sense, remember as precipitate, PPT. Okay. So conversion of this precipitate into colloidal form, that will be considered as peptization. So how that conversion will take place? By using of an electrolyte. Okay, by using of electrolyte. Electrolytes are nothing but those substances which will be having both the charges. Positive charges will be there as well as negative charge. Both the charges it will be having. So that will be considered as electrolyte. So now in this method, the electrolyte whatever we are using, that is also called as peptizing agent. Okay, so that will be called as peptizing agent. The electrolyte which is used in the method, that will be considered as peptizing agent. As I told, why it will be utilized? Because you have a solution in the form of precipitate. Okay, you want to convert into colloidal form. How it can be done? By using of an electrolyte. Now let's see with some example how this process will be done. Okay. Now for example, I have a precipitate of silver iodide. Okay. So this is a precipitate form. PPT. Okay. I have a solution. So in that the precipitate has settled down. The PPT has been settled down. I have silver, iodide. You know, charges of silver as well as iodine. Right. So now what will happen? I want to convert the silver iodide into colloidal form. Here the particles will be settling down itself. It will not distributed throughout the solution. So now I want to convert this precipitate form into colloidal. Okay, how it can be done? As I said, I am supposed to add an electrolyte. Remember, when you are adding electrolyte, it should have a common ion. Common ion in the sense what? That here whatever ion you are having, okay, here two ions are present. In a precipitate, two ions are present. And whatever electrolyte you are having, at least it should have one of the ion. It should be common in both. Okay. So I can add for this as an electrolyte. Okay. I will be adding silver nitrate. Okay. AgNO3 I will add. So why I can add AgNO3? Because these recipient charges Ag plus NO3 minus. So these are common. Okay, as I said, when you are adding electrolyte, you should see which precipitate you are getting. Okay, so in both the cases, one common ion should be there. Either it can be positive or you can take negative also. Any of negative iodine group, if any electrolyte is there, that electrolyte also you can take it over here. So now this is addition. how it works. Now, see, consider this is your precipitate form. Now, when you add electrolyte, when you add AgNO3 to the solution, what this precipitate it will do? It will absorb. You have learned the concept of adsorption. Adsorption is nothing but only on the surface part. The particles will be adsorbed, right? So here, this precipitate it absorbs from the electrolyte its common ion. So it will absorb only Ag plus. See, adsorption will take place in this manner. Okay, your precipitate will absorb the common ion which is present in your electrolyte. Okay, now the size of the particle will become bigger in size. After some time, this started breaking. Okay, so when it started breaking, by that time, the broken particles. Okay, broken particles will distribute uniformly throughout the solution, so that you will get from a precipitate you are going to get colloidal form. Just here what will happen? Just adsorption will take place of that electrolyte. So whole electrolyte will not be absorbed. Only the common ion, okay, so which is present over there. So that will be adsorbed. So other than that, see now here I minus, it is of no use. What will be done, or how? Not I minus, NO3. Okay, because this here are added as an electrolyte. So this will be utilized. What about NO3 minus? This is of no use. Now what will happen, or how we are going to remove it? That will be saying in next concept. Okay. So next we will be learning how the purification method will be done. I guess you understood with the preparation of colloids. When it goes with the chemical method, either double decomposition, oxidation, reduction, or hydrolysis. And Bredick's arc method by using of certain setup. And baptization is nothing but conversion of precipitate into colloidal form just by using of an electrolyte, or which will be considered as baptizing agent. So both electrolyte as well as precipitate, it should have a common ion. For example, if we take AgI, here AgNO3 silver nitrate. So in both the cases, silver is common. Okay, so that will be adsorbed. The particle size will become bigger in size, and it will break down into colloidal particles, so that it will be distributed uniformly throughout the solution. So now next we will be seeing how we are going to remove this unwanted ions or electrolyte. Okay. So next we will be continuing with purification of colloid. Okay. So how these colloids we are going to purify. As I have told, purification, why it is required? Because your colloidal solution, sometimes it will be having some of the impurities, or sometimes it will be having electrolyte. Sometimes you, we have discussed in last process, baptization. So we are adding electrolyte for our purpose, in the sense to prepare colloidal salt. But what will happen if the concentration of those electrolytes, if it is less, that can be, it will help to stabilize the solution. But if the concentration of those electrolyte, if it becomes more, what will happen? That particular ions or particular electrolyte, it started coagulating. Okay, it will aggregate one another. Okay, and coagulation of the particle will take place. So it is of no use. Okay, so for that reason, to remove those kind of substance, in the sense those kind of electrolyte as well as impure materials, so this methods will be utilized. Purification methods will be utilized. So one by one we will be seeing. The first procedure will be considered as dialysis, and the second one is electrodialysis, and the third one is ultrafiltration. Okay, so these all the concepts we will explain. Now what is meant by dialysis? Here dialysis is nothing but the conversion, as I have said, purification of your substance, colloidal solvent takes place. So that will be having some of the dissolved unwanted particles. So that will be removed by diffusion. So here removal can be done by using of diffusion through a membrane. So that will be considered as dialysis. Okay, so dialysis is nothing but you are going to remove unwanted dissolved particles from from a colloidal salt. So if they'll ask definition, what is meant by dialysis, you're supposed to write. So removal of unwanted particles, okay, from a colloidal salt by diffusion through a membrane, through a semi-permeable membrane. So that will be considered as dialysis. Now how it works? Okay, for this also certain setup will be done. So the setup will go like this. You'll be taking a beaker, okay. So here in this beaker, continuous flow of water will be done. From this end, you are leaving water. From another end, that water will be removed, okay. It is nothing but continuous flow of water, okay. With high rate, the flow of water will be done. So this is nothing but the beaker, okay. So this is one side. Now here inside of this, now water will be there, okay. Continuous flow of water will be there. You are going to insert the membrane, okay. Semi-permeable membrane, any kind of semi-permeable membrane you are going to utilize over here. Okay, so this is nothing but semi-permeable membrane. So now we will be introducing your colloidal solution into this. Okay, so here this will be having colloidal solution. So as you know, colloidal particle, it will be having your colloidal substance as well as impurities will be there. So for example, consider this is colloidal substance. Okay, and it is having impurity also. So these are nothing but impurity. Now you know semi-permeable membrane. Why we are using for this process, diffusion process? Because it will be having small holes. Okay, so this membrane will be having small holes. Okay, so that the particles can move out of this. That holes are so small so that your colloidal particles will never pass out through that membrane. Okay, through that hole. Okay, so we are going to use membrane. So now what will happen here? You are going to pass water, continuous flow of water will be there. As the water will move from here and it will enter this membrane. So in this membrane, whatever the unwanted particles are there, okay, which are smaller in size, those particles as well as your electrolyte, so that will be removed through this pores. As I said, this kind of, in the sense, colloidal particles, it cannot pass through this pore because the size of the pore is very small. You know, colloidal particle in the sense, the range of colloidal particle, the size of the colloidal particle. So pores will be lesser than that. So that will be considered as dialysis. Okay. So now, so for state syllabus, only this much will be, they can ask what is the dialysis process, important, okay, dialysis procedure. For CBSE, they can ask what are the applications of dialysis, where it will be utilized. So mainly this will be utilized in industry. So to prepare, iron hydroxide, just now I have written in chemical method, we will be preparing iron hydroxide. So that will be having HCl as a byproduct, right? So that HCl we are going to remove by using of the same procedure, okay, dialysis procedure. So that is one example. Another example, you might have heard dialysis of kidney will be done. Abnormal condition if it is there, okay, abnormal functioning of kidney if it is there. You know what is the use of kidney? Okay, to remove the waste products from a body part, right? So now sometimes abnormal functioning if it is there in the sense, by that and the toxins as well as electrolyte in that person, it will increase. Okay, so the more amount of toxin as well as electrolyte will be released. So that will be removed by using of this procedure. Dialysis of blood will be done. Okay, so dialysis of kidney. So this is one more example. Next procedure, that is electrodialysis. So here are the same thing. You are going to remove dissolved substance which will be having electrolyte. Okay, so here mainly it goes with electrolyte. Impurities, electrolyte, if it is present, you can go with this procedure. But remember, this is bit slow procedure. If you have only electrolyte, if you want to remove only electrolyte from the solution, then you can go with this procedure. So this is, it should have only electrolyte as well as this is bit fast procedure. So now how this procedure will be done? The same, it will be you are going to take. Okay. So from down, flow of water will be there. Continuous flow of water. So removal of water will be done from here. And here, if water is there, in a sense, you are going to insert a membrane. Membrane will be inserted over here. Okay. So now, one more setup that you are supposed to do in this procedure, electrodialysis, is nothing but you are going to use electrode. Okay. Consider if this is cathode. Charge of cathode will be negative. And here, anode will be utilized. You might have understood why we are using this electrode. Okay. The charge of electrode, anode is positive. So now here you are going to take your colloidal solution. So which will be having colloidal particle as well as electrolyte. Okay. So it will be having electrolyte also. Okay. So now continuous flow of water will be there. You know this water has to remove the electrolyte from the pores. Okay. That can be done. And as I told, this is the fastest procedure. Why? Because as the water movement will be there, the electrolyte will be having two charges, right? Positive as well as negative charge. So the positive charged particle or ions, it will go towards cathode. Opposite charge is always attract. Okay. So if electrolyte is having, consider this is an electrolyte, it is having positive as well as negative charge. So the positive charge ion it will move towards cathode and negative charge ion will move towards anode. So moving in the sense it is moving out of this membrane. Okay, so that you will get only colloidal salt. So this is one more procedure, that is nothing but electrodialysis. So this can be done on the purification of only with electrolyte, and this is the fastest procedure. Okay. So now next step. Okay, the next procedure will be considered as ultrafiltration. So ultrafiltration is nothing but, you might have seen, okay, the normal filter paper which will be used in laboratory. Okay, so that filter paper, it is having number of pores, but the size of pores are much bigger in size, so that your colloidal salt also can move. Okay, it can pass through the pores. Okay, so by using of the same filter paper, you are going to prepare another filter paper. Okay, so which will be considered as ultra filter paper. Okay, using of that ultra filter paper, you are going to remove separate the colloidal particles. Okay, so for example, now here you have a solution. So in this, you have colloidal particle, along with that some of the impurities also present. Okay, so how you are going to remove? By using of normal filtration or normal filter paper, it cannot. So what you are supposed to do? That filter paper, you are going to dip in this solution. Okay. So 4% of nitrocellulose in the mixture. So this mixture should be mixed with ether and alcohol. So this is the mixture. You are going to dip your normal filter paper in this mixture. After dipping, after some time, okay, remove it, and that filter paper, hardening of that filter paper will be done by using of formaldehyde. Okay, hardening of filter paper will be done by using of formaldehyde. Later, you are supposed to dry it. Okay, that dried paper, now it will say that filter paper, whatever will be used, that will be having, okay, the bigger size pores will be reduced, okay, into smaller size. The size of the particle has been reduced now. So that filter paper you will be using with the same procedure. Filtration, how it will be done. So filtration will be done so that now when you go with this method, the colloidal particle cannot move because the size of the pores has been reduced. The size is very small. So only the electrolyte or ions or impurity, okay, so it can pass out through the filter paper. So this is nothing but one more procedure which will be considered as ultrafiltration. So three are also important. Dialysis. Okay. So dialysis by using of this setup will be considered as dialyzer. Okay. So by using of dialyzer. Next, electrodialysis is nothing but by using of electrode, and ultrafiltration by using of filter paper. This procedure will be done. So this is nothing but purification of colloids.